Hey everybody, it's Gronosato here. We're here to talk about Halo and what we think it needs to be successful with Halo Infinite. Um, we've looked at. I've been playing Halo since when it started, back in the day with Halo One Combat Evolved, and these are things I think that Halo will need in Halo Infinite to be successful. I think Halo is on a borderline here that needs to be successful in this release on Halo Infinite to be able to stay relevant and up to date with everything and played by everybody. I think one of the steps that they did make free to play is a way to do that, and I think it's a pretty smart play depending on how they go about it with Halo Infinite. Free to play could be either a really good thing or a really bad thing. I play a few free to play games. I play Apex Legends. I played all sorts of games, Spellbreaker, games like that. It's kind of the norm now, and microtransactions are normal now. But Microsoft, I'm not sure how they will do a free to play and if it would be a benefit to Halo Infinite in the long run, because I'm afraid that they're gonna charge too much for things or make things ridiculous. Don't get me wrong; if there's one game I'm actually going to be spending money on, it will be Halo. But as far as the free to play and everything, as long as they keep everything cosmetic and don't affect anything as far as gameplay is concerned, and keep the costs like low and not ridiculously high, I think we'd be fine with no issues. Another thing I think that would be a big benefit to Halo Infinite if it came out would be a big team, a real big team battle, like a massive big team battle. Not like 16 players like Halo has been on for a long time since its original release. But more of like a 50 versus 50, a huge map with kind of a battlefield feel, but just Halo style. It's you don't have to do anything special, just make it bigger maps with Halo gameplay, and I think that would be a huge benefit to Halo Infinite. And I think it would be, with it being free to play, it shouldn't be a problem getting all those people for those matches. Because everybody would have access to the game, and if the game's good enough, it'll hold its own in numbers. One thing I am a little worried about, kind of off center on the multiplayer, is the gadgets again. I liked Halo Reach. I loved Halo Reach, but I played the MLG playlists, the ones where you don't have armors, loadouts, and stuff like that, and radar. I mean, radar's not a big thing, but as far as like not having like abilities like jetpacks and stuff like that, I think that wasn't very Halo. It's that particular, even back in the day, I remember playing Halo Reach, nobody really enjoyed. There's people who enjoyed playing it, obviously, but they had to make a separate map or playlists, the MLG playlist, for a lot of people to play, and that's where most people who enjoyed Halo since the original hung out and played at. And you didn't have, all you had was sprint, I think it was, with no other armor abilities, which sprint doesn't bother me. Sprint, I get it. Sprint's cool, whatever. If I was going to say anything, I think Halo 5 did the abilities better than anybody. Halo 5 was amazing. Everybody had the same abilities. You still had mobility, and it was all dependent upon your ability to use them at the correct time and not what you had in your arsenal at that moment. In my opinion, it just takes the skill away. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. Definitely have a discussion with me about it. As far as I'm concerned, the jetpacks and the overshield are the abilities and everything. It took away from the overall game. Halo is known for fighting for territory on a map, getting the power weapons and the power abilities, which are hidden. And if you weren't able to do that, honestly, you probably lost the game. That's what Halo's always been about, is strategy. Not just good shooting, but strategy, getting the correct materials, knowing when they spawn, getting to it, and fighting for it. You could win without it, but it made it a whole lot harder. And I think jetpacks and all that stuff definitely changed. They kind of ruined that play of Halo, and that's why that MLG playlist became really big back in the day on Reach. But as far as Halo Infinite is, I see that they have the grappling hook and everything, and from what rumors say, and it's just rumors, so no one really knows, but they're going to have the grappling hook in the beginning of a match, from what I understand, and like whatever other armor abilities in their one-time use in a match. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I wish they would just go the route of fighting over materials on the map. I think that takes way more skill and it's more involved and more strategy. But it definitely, I don't know. I think it would, I think it would definitely could possibly ruin the game if they don't do it right. And I hope they don't mess it up. I'm a huge fan of Halo. It's always been my number one game, my favorite game of all time, and I want it to be a huge success with not only my generation of older Halo players, but with newer people as well. Obviously, you have to grow to continue and be relevant. Um, but I think the free to play could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. Hopefully, they do it correctly, and hopefully, it's done smartly. I know there are going to be microtransactions and everything. And like I said, if there's any game I'm going to be spending any extra money on, it would definitely be Halo. And so I just hope they don't make it, stupid expensive. And I hope they make it long lasting without any issues. The 50/50 gameplay as well. I just want to mention this. Like, one thing I've always wanted since the original Halo was to be able to fly in a Pelican and fight over, like, start it. Let's take Blood Gulch. We'll expand it, make it really really big, right? And then take 50/50, 50 versus 50, capture the flag. You take the Pelican and you can jump in it with a squad. Somebody can fly it and drop your squad off to go get a flag. We can fly over and stuff. You have, of course, your missile launchers, rocket launchers, and all that stuff. That could easily take it down. It wouldn't be difficult. They have all the weapons they need to take down a Pelican, Spartan lasers and everything. But I think the Pelican would be a huge benefit, especially if they did a 50 first 50 gameplay mode, which I think is something they're going to need to do. They need to make a legitimate big team battle, and I hope they do, and that would be a huge thing for me. To be able to get that done and be able to fly a Pelican would be really sweet. Another thing I think that would be really important would be to bring back some of the mystery in Halo. The original Halo, even Halo 2 and Halo 3, talk about the rings and everything and the Forerunners and everything going on with that. You had an era of mystery and you didn't really know exactly what was going on in that whole situation. With that mystery, you were able to check out, you had grunts that spoke their own language, and every once in a while you'd had a goofy grunt like saying, "I'd bite your kneecaps off" and stuff like that, which is hilarious. I'm not saying like completely go back to an alien language, but it did bring like an air of mystery and worry to your gameplay because you really didn't know what they're saying, so you couldn't predict their movements and stuff by the sound. Also, with the mystery and everything, I think it would be extremely important to get some competitive gameplay for esports. I think that's a have to have these days. Esports are the big thing with video games now, whether you like it or not. Personally, I love watching esports, and I hope they make a mode where you can watch everything going on. And with the esports, I think Siege does it very well. You get to see everybody's movements and everything throughout the map. I think that would be really sweet if they could pull off something like that for Halo. But esports is a huge thing, and I think they need to make sure that they're setting it up to be popular for esports and work really well. Halo was a huge esport game back in the day, even before internet and everything. Like, I used to go to tournaments and everything with landlines and everything like that. I know there's still some esports with Halo, but it's not as big as other games are. So it's kind of slacked on the esports aspect, I believe. I know they do have some, like I said, some tournaments, but it needs to be bigger. I mean, you need to get everybody into it. They need to make it a bigger thing. It needs to concentrate on some esports. Don't get me wrong. I don't think pros should be telling the developer on what to nerf, what to keep, and what to do. I think that's silly and stupid. To listen to people, only the esports people, about what they think is good for competitive play. It's always bothering me. But besides that, Another thing I think would be extremely important is all the Halos since they came out. Forge is a wonderful tool that people are able to check out and play and make your own maps, make your own game types. Halo's always been so cool with making your own game types. It's what makes it great. But one thing that they've done in the past few Halos is ever since the Forge was released, they've made it to where community made maps are like pretty much the mainstay. Don't get me wrong, community made maps, some of them are ridiculously awesome, really well made. I love them, and I do love playing on them. Don't get me wrong, okay? But hear me out. There needs to be more developer made maps. Developer made maps are, especially with Halo. I mean, honestly, I can only think of like maybe one or two maps that I actually despise. Like I hated. Their maps are extremely are well made. Even all the remakes are just really well made. Really fun maps, exciting. Blood Gulch is my all-time favorite. I don't know what yours is. Let me know down in the comments below, definitely. But Blood Gulch is my all-time favorite map. That and Rat Race. But besides that, they need to make more developer-made maps that don't just concentrate only on community-made content. Community-made content is awesome, and it definitely it's a part of the game and should definitely be part of the game. But with community-made content, it almost seems like the developer got a little lazy and quit making like really good developer-made maps. And developer-made maps are just better overall as far as like content, playability. It's just really awesome. Now, this is something that bothers me in like one of the current games I play, which is Apex Legends. I hope that microtransactions, there's going to be the microtransactions with the free-to-play Halo multiplayer. I'm hoping that they are working on armor sets that are really unique and cool, that are worth your time and money. Games like, for instance, Apex Legends, nothing is a game. I like the game, but they kind of copy and paste different colors on the same exact armors and skins, and they're just like, oh, we're done. Instead of making unique armors, which they do occasionally with like releases and stuff, but I hope with 343 that they're gonna make like Hayabusa armors, and they're gonna make even like implement some other cool Microsoft games like not a Gears of War armor, don't get me wrong, but like maybe a Gears of War-esque armor that's Halo-ish. It's got the Halo armor, but with some Gears of War kind of like look to it, which would be cool. That would be neat. Just don't do the same, like, here's $10 for the color blue. Here's $10 for the color purple. Here's $10 for a helmet. Make unique armor sets that aren't going to be like trash, I guess is the best way to put it. Now, only a couple more things left here. Cortana. I've played all the Halos, and I've been around for a long time. My whole family, we love playing Halo. It's our favorite game. But Cortana, I think the biggest mistake Halo made, was making Cortana evil, which I understand how it goes in the lore. I get it. 7 years. AIs can get crazy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm hoping that's going to get rectified in Halo Infinite, because as much as I liked the multiplayer in Halo 5, which I think it's one of the best, the storyline, even though, Blue Team was there with Master Chief and everything, the storyline was kind of annoying. Like, so all of a sudden you're trying to fight find Cortana. She's doing all sorts of messed up stuff, which who knows, could be for a legitimate cool reason. We don't know yet. Blah blah blah. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how you make an enemy out of somebody that's been in your head the whole entire time. And when you're playing Halo, you feel empty without the AI in there. Some of the coolest commentary and everything was between Cortana and Master Chief, and that couple. It's a couple that shouldn't be taken lightly, and it's very important as far as the story and everything goes. I read a lot, not all the books, but I read a good amount of the books and everything, and it's the unique relationship they have and everything. I just think that was a bad move, making Cortana an enemy. And now guess I'm just predicting. I don't know, but I think that what they're going to end up doing is making another copy of Halsey or whatever, and making another Cortana to fight the Cortana that's there, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But they need to rectify it and fix the situation because Cortana should not be an enemy. Cortana should definitely be there in your helmet. Chief should find a way to fix it. You know, maybe a Forerunner technology can help fix it. Who knows? There's tons of ways they could spin the story to do that, but I think it's really important. Last but not least, I think this is one of the bigger things. They definitely need to make sure Infinite's finished. Don't come out if you guys need more time. Just take more time. I, I'm I think Halo Infinite's a very important Halo. I think it's probably one of the most important Halos because it's going to start a new series of Halo. If it's not done correctly, I think Halo might end up dying. You know, it's let me know what you think, guys. But I think Halo might end up going away. It's not going to be the multi-billion-dollar company that it is. Some people will play it for a short period of time, like they always do, and then they'll get off of it, and they'll go to another game that lasts a long time. Now, with things like Apex has been around for 2 years, I think. Yeah, I think it's 2 years. But I mean, that game's still kicking and people are still playing it. Obviously, people do that with Halos as well. But I'm just saying, like, it still has a huge following. It's still growing, I believe. You can check me on that if you want and let me know. But from that, and that's with a game, in my opinion, that's like broken pretty badly. The game's always got glitches. It's always got mistakes. Don't get me wrong, gameplay's fun on Apex, but Halo needs to be a lot longer lasting. It needs to survive a while for it to be successful. All right, everybody, let me know what you think down below, and then just let me know